The stars above Earth suddenly filled with alien ships that appeared from nowhere like ghosts becoming real. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Liberty, watching his screens light up with contacts that should not exist. 50 massive vessels hung in space just beyond Pluto orbit, looking like crystal daggers pointed at the heart of humanity. Each ship stretched longer than 3 football fields and gleamed with a strange inner light that hurt to look at. Directly, Lieutenant Commander Lisa Rodriguez rushed to her station and began running every scan the Liberty could manage. The readings made no sense at first because the alien ships used technology that human science barely understood. Energy signatures danced across her instruments, showing power levels that could probably crack a moon in half. The hull materials reflected their sensors in ways that suggested the aliens had mastered physics concepts Earth scientists only dreamed about. Admiral Zexathara of the Vorthon Empire sent his first message to Earth using translation technology that somehow spoke perfect English. His voice carried the weight of someone who had done this exact same thing hundreds of times before across dozens of worlds. He explained that the Galactic Council had decided to offer humanity membership in their vast interstellar community, but only under very specific terms that were not open for discussion. The terms were simple and brutal in their clarity. Earth would provide raw materials and human workers to support Council operations throughout this sector of the galaxy. In exchange, humanity would receive basic technology packages and protection from other hostile species that might threaten their world. The Admiral made it clear that this offer came only once, and refusal would result in the complete destruction of human civilization. Captain Morrison listened to every word while studying the tactical display that showed just how hopeless any fight would be. The Liberty carried humanity's most advanced weapons, including nuclear missiles and particle beam cannons that represented decades of military development. Against these alien ships, those weapons would be like throwing rocks at armored tanks. Dr. Alan Hayes worked frantically in the science bay, trying to learn everything possible about their uninvited guests. His analysis revealed disturbing patterns in their communication protocols and ship movements. These aliens were not explorers making first contact with a new species. They were conquerors following a well-practiced routine that had clearly worked for them many times before. The alien fleet moved into a formation that completely surrounded Earth orbital space while staying just far enough away to avoid any desperate last-minute attacks. Their positioning showed military precision that spoke of vast experience in exactly this type of operation. Every escape route was blocked, and every major population center on Earth fell under the shadow of their weapons. Commander Veltar of the Kethrin Alliance served as Admiral Zexathara second-in-command and took charge of the technical aspects of the invasion. His scans of Earth technology made him laugh out loud at human primitiveness. Chemical rockets that barely reached their own moon, and nuclear weapons that would not even scratch the paint on Council ship hulls. The humans had somehow achieved basic spaceflight, but remained trapped in their own solar system like children, playing with toys. President Helen Carter convened an emergency session in the White House Situation Room, where military leaders struggled to find any possible response to this impossible situation. General Frank Collins presented options that all ended with human surrender or human extinction. Earth orbital defense platforms carried the most powerful weapons humanity had ever built, but those weapons were designed to fight other human ships, not technology from an advanced galactic civilization. The 72-hour deadline began counting down on every screen across Earth as news of the alien arrival spread to every corner of the planet. Panic gripped major cities while governments tried to maintain order in the face of species-ending catastrophe. Religious leaders prayed for divine intervention, while scientists worked desperately to find some weakness in alien technology that might offer hope. Admiral Zexathara sent regular updates to the Galactic Council homeworlds describing another successful first contact operation. His reports noted that human technology posed absolutely no threat to Council forces, and that integration would proceed according to standard protocols. The Admiral had personally overseen 47 such operations, and this one showed every sign of following the same predictable pattern. Jake Morrison stood alone on his bridge, staring out at the alien fleet while wondering if humanity had any cards left to play. The Liberty represented Earth's most advanced military vessel, but against these invaders it was nothing more than a target waiting to be destroyed. Somewhere in the back of his mind, a small voice whispered that maybe Earth had secrets that even he did not know about, but those thoughts felt more like desperate hope than realistic planning. The countdown continued while two completely different civilizations prepared for a confrontation that would determine the future of the human race. On one side stood the overwhelming technological superiority of a galactic empire that had conquered countless worlds. On the other side stood a single, isolated planet whose people had never even imagined that such threats existed among the stars. The alien ships moved closer to Earth during the second day of their ultimatum, showing weapons that could turn continents into glass and ash. Admiral Zexathara walked through his command ship's crystal corridors, feeling completely confident that this operation would end like all the others. The humans were probably spending these final hours arguing among themselves about surrender terms, while their primitive governments tried to find diplomatic solutions that simply did not exist. Captain Ben Parker commanded the Lunar Defense Station and watched the alien fleet through the most powerful telescopes humanity had ever built. Each enemy vessel bristled with weapon systems that operated on principles human science could not explain. Energy readings suggested the aliens could manipulate gravity itself, turning it into a weapon that would crush cities without leaving any radioactive contamination behind. Dr. Patricia Lee worked in her laboratory at the Deep Space Research Division, running calculations that kept producing impossible results. The alien ships seemed to violate several laws of physics that humans considered absolute truths. Their faster-than-light travel created no detectable distortion in space-time, and their power systems generated more energy than should be possible from any known fuel source. Admiral Kate Sullivan received a priority communication from sources that officially did not exist anywhere in government records. Project Blackout had been monitoring the alien arrival from hidden facilities scattered throughout the outer solar system. The project staff wanted permission to reveal assets that had been classified beyond even presidential clearance levels for more than 20 years. Commander Veltar grew increasingly impatient with human delays and suggested to his superior that they should simply begin bombing major cities to speed up the negotiation process. In his experience, most primitive species required at least one demonstration of superior firepower before they accepted the reality of their situation. The Kethran commander had personally witnessed the destruction of stubborn civilizations that refused reasonable surrender terms. General Frank Collins studied intelligence, reports that painted an increasingly hopeless picture of human military capabilities. Every war game simulation ended with the complete destruction of Earth defense forces within minutes of actual combat beginning. The aliens possessed shields that could absorb nuclear explosions and weapons that could destroy entire fleets with single shots. President Carter authorized Admiral Sullivan to contact her mysterious project while knowing that this decision might represent humanity's last desperate gamble. The president had heard rumors about black-budget military programs, but never imagined that such projects might involve technology capable of challenging an interstellar empire. Time was running out, and conventional options had already proven completely inadequate. Jake Morrison received new orders directing the Liberty to maintain position near Earth orbit while avoiding any actions that might provoke premature alien attack. His crew worked around the clock monitoring alien communications and movement patterns, looking for any advantage that might help humanity survive the next day. The captain knew his ship would be among the first targets destroyed if fighting actually began. Lisa Rodriguez decoded alien message traffic that revealed disturbing details about Galactic Council standard operating procedures. Previous conquest. Operations had followed identical patterns, with primitive civilizations being offered the same non-negotiable terms. Species that refused integration were systematically exterminated, while those that submitted became slave labor for Council expansion projects throughout the galaxy. The alien fleet continued its slow approach toward Earth while maintaining perfect formation discipline that demonstrated centuries of military experience. Their ships moved like a school of predatory fish, closing in on helpless prey, while weapons systems charged to full power in preparation for the coming demonstration. Admiral Zexathara had already selected targets that would provide maximum psychological impact with minimum damage to useful infrastructure. Dr. Hayes discovered that alien communication networks used quantum entanglement principles that allowed instant contact across galactic distances. The invaders were in constant touch with their home civilizations and had probably already reported human surrender as a foregone conclusion. Council forces expected this operation to conclude within standard time parameters that had been proven, effective across dozens of similar conquests. Secret facilities hidden in asteroid belts and outer planet moons began receiving activation codes that had never been transmitted before in human history. Project Blackout assets started powering up systems that represented the absolute pinnacle of human technological achievement. These weapons and ships had been built in complete secrecy, using discoveries that would revolutionize human civilization if they were ever revealed to the general public. Captain Danny Wright received orders that brought his Deep Space Patrol vessel racing back toward Earth from missions in the outer darkness beyond Neptune orbit. The UHSF Retribution had been conducting operations that required complete communication silence for months at a time. Wright's ship represented technology that existed decades ahead of anything the general public knew about. The countdown toward alien ultimatum expiration continued, while Earth governments made final preparations for either surrender or annihilation. Military forces took positions that everyone knew were completely useless against the alien threat, while civilian populations sought shelter that would provide no protection against weapons capable of destroying planets. Admiral Zexathara prepared his final message to the humans while looking forward to another successful integration operation. His experience with primitive species suggested that Earth governments would probably request additional time for consideration, but such delays only postponed the inevitable. The Admiral had never encountered a civilization capable of mounting effective resistance against Council military technology. The final day arrived with alien ships moving into attack formation, while their weapons charged to levels that could reshape continents. Admiral Zexathara sat in his command chamber, reviewing target lists that would demonstrate Council power, while preserving enough human infrastructure to make Earth conquest profitable. His experience with dozens of similar operations had taught him exactly how much destruction was needed to break primitive resistance. Commander Veltar targeted major military installations first because eliminating human defense capabilities would prevent any desperate last-minute attacks. His tactical analysis showed that Earth possessed no weapons capable of penetrating Council shields and no ships fast enough to escape Council pursuit. The humans had developed impressive technology for such a young civilization, but they remained centuries behind galactic standard military capabilities. The alien fleet spread across Earth orbital space like a net designed to catch any humans who might try to flee the planet during the coming demonstration. Each Council ship carried enough firepower to glass entire continents, while their defensive systems could absorb anything short of stellar-level energy attacks. The mathematical superiority was so overwhelming that some alien commanders had already begun composing victory reports. Dr. Alan Hayes worked frantically in his laboratory, trying to find some weakness in alien technology that human weapons might exploit. His analysis revealed that Council ships used energy projection systems that operated through dimensional manipulation rather than conventional physics. The aliens had learned to channel power from parallel realities, making their weapons virtually unlimited in destructive potential. President Carter received the final communication from Admiral Zexathara. demanding immediate surrender or face planetary bombardment, beginning with major population centers. The alien leader's voice carried the bored confidence of someone who had delivered identical ultimatums to countless other worlds. He made it clear that human resistance would only result in unnecessary suffering for Earth's population. Jake Morrison prepared his crew for what would probably be their final mission as the Liberty took position to defend Earth against impossible odds. His tactical officer reported that alien weapon signatures had reached maximum charge levels, indicating that the demonstration would begin within minutes. The captain knew his ship would last perhaps seconds against technology that could destroy fleets. General Collins coordinated what remained of Earth's military response while knowing that every action they took was essentially meaningless against Council forces. Human nuclear missiles would detonate harmlessly against alien shields, while particle beam weapons would be absorbed and redirected back at their own ships. The mathematical reality was that Earth had no effective military options remaining. Lisa. Rodriguez monitored alien communications and detected what sounded like laughter from several Council ship commanders as they discussed human military preparations. The aliens found it amusing that humans were actually planning to fight back using weapons that were obviously inadequate for the task. Their casual dismissal of human capabilities suggested complete confidence in the outcome. Admiral Kate Sullivan watched from her command center as Project Blackout assets began moving into position throughout the solar system. Hidden facilities that had operated in absolute secrecy for decades started activating systems that represented quantum leaps beyond publicly known human technology. The project had been preparing for exactly this scenario since first detecting alien presence in nearby star systems. The Council fleet began its final approach toward Earth, while alien commanders made bets about how quickly human resistance would collapse once the demonstration began. Their experience with primitive civilizations suggested that most species surrendered immediately after witnessing the destruction of a few major cities. The psychological impact of watching helplessly as superior technology destroyed everything they valued usually broke primitive spirits within hours. Commander Veltar selected his first target as New York City because destroying such a large population center would demonstrate Council power while eliminating a major center of human government and commerce. His weapons officer reported ready status on gravitational manipulation systems that would crush the city into a crater several miles deep. The attack would be visible from orbit, ensuring that surviving humans understood their complete helplessness. Dr. Patricia Lee discovered that alien shield technology operated by redirecting incoming energy into alternate dimensional spaces where it could be safely dissipated. The shields were virtually impenetrable to conventional weapons, but they required constant power input to maintain dimensional stability. Disrupting the power flow might create brief windows of vulnerability, but human weapons lacked sufficient precision to exploit such openings. The alien ultimatum expired with Earth governments transmitting their final response through Captain Morrison aboard the Liberty. Humanity politely declined the generous offer to become slaves of the Galactic Council, and instead invited the aliens to leave Earth space immediately. The audacity of this response actually surprised some Council commanders who had expected either immediate surrender or desperate pleading for mercy. Admiral Zexathara began the targeting sequence for planetary bombardment while shaking his head at human foolishness. In his 47 previous conquest operations, only 3 civilizations had chosen destruction over submission, and all of them had possessed significantly more advanced technology than Earth. The Admiral almost felt sorry for humans because their resistance was both futile and completely unnecessary. The Council weapons reached full charge while targeting systems locked onto major Earth cities and military installations. Energy readings climbed beyond anything humans had ever detected, indicating that the coming demonstration would exceed nuclear weapons by several orders of magnitude. Earth's orbital defense platforms prepared to fire their missiles knowing that such attacks would accomplish nothing except providing psychological comfort during the final moments. Warning alarms sounded across every Earth military facility as sensors detected the massive energy buildup in alien weapons systems. The end had finally arrived, and humanity prepared to face extinction with whatever dignity they could maintain against overwhelming technological superiority that rendered all resistance meaningless. Something appeared on alien sensors that made Admiral Zexathara pause in the middle of his targeting sequence. A single contact emerged from behind Earth's moon, moving at speeds that should have been impossible for human technology. The vessel registered energy signatures that defied everything the Council knew about primitive Earth capabilities. The ship's acceleration curve suggested propulsion systems that operated beyond conventional physics. The human vessel appeared completely different from anything the aliens had observed during their survey of Earth military forces. Where human ships typically showed crude construction using primitive materials, this newcomer displayed elegant engineering that spoke of advanced technological understanding. The hull seemed to absorb scanner beams rather than reflecting them, making detailed analysis nearly impossible. Captain Danny Wright transmitted from the UHSF Retribution using communication systems that somehow bypassed alien jamming frequencies. His voice carried calm authority as he identified his vessel and demanded that the Council fleet withdraw from Earth space immediately. The audacity of a single human ship challenging 50 alien vessels struck the Council commanders as either insanity or evidence of capabilities they had completely missed. Commander Veltar attempted to scan the approaching human vessel, but his most sophisticated sensors could not penetrate whatever technology protected the ship from detection. Energy readings fluctuated wildly, suggesting power systems that operated on principles the Kethran Alliance had never encountered. The ship's mass readings changed constantly, indicating either advanced stealth technology or manipulation of fundamental physical laws. Admiral Zexathara demanded to know what this lone human vessel hoped to accomplish against the overwhelming firepower of an entire Council battle fleet. The mathematical impossibility of the situation should have been obvious to anyone with basic understanding of military tactics. One ship could not possibly threaten 50 vessels carrying weapons capable of destroying planets. Dr. Patricia Lee worked frantically aboard the Retribution's science bay, analyzing alien technology while the ship's advanced computers processed information at speeds that exceeded anything in the known human arsenal. Her instruments revealed weaknesses in Council ship design that could be exploited by weapons operating on completely different principles than anything the aliens expected to encounter. The Retribution moved through space using propulsion that created no detectable emissions while somehow achieving accelerations that should have crushed any human crew. The ship's hull materials appeared to bend light around their surface, creating visual distortions that made targeting extremely difficult. Council weapons officers found their systems unable to achieve reliable target locks on the mysterious human vessel. Jake Morrison watched from the Liberty as the unknown human ship approached the alien fleet with confidence that seemed completely unjustified by the tactical situation. His communication officer reported that the newcomer was transmitting on frequencies that required technology decades beyond anything Earth's public military possessed. The captain began to suspect that humanity had been keeping very important secrets. Commander Veltar decided to demonstrate Council superiority by destroying the insolent human vessel with a single shot from his ship's primary weapon. The plasma cannon charged to full power while targeting computers locked onto the approaching enemy. The weapon fired a beam of energy capable of vaporizing asteroids, but something impossible happened when the blast reached its target. The Retribution's defensive systems activated in ways that violated everything the aliens understood about energy manipulation. Instead of being destroyed by the plasma blast, the human ship seemed to absorb the incoming energy and channel it through systems that transformed the attack into something completely different. The absorbed energy emerged from the Retribution's weapons as a coherent beam that struck Veltar's ship with twice the original power. The Kethrin commander's vessel reeled under the impact of its own redirected weapon, while systems throughout the ship overloaded from energy feedback. Emergency lights flickered across the command bridge as critical systems shut down to prevent complete destruction. Veltar stared at his darkened tactical displays, unable to comprehend how human technology had turned his most powerful weapon against him. Admiral Zexathara ordered his entire fleet to concentrate fire on the single human vessel while trying to understand what had just happened. 50 ships opened fire simultaneously with weapons that could crack moons, but the results defied all logic and experience. Every energy beam that reached the Retribution was absorbed and redirected back at the ships that fired them with amplified, destructive power. The human vessel moved through the alien formation like a predator among helpless prey, while Council ships found themselves under attack by their own weapons. Admiral Zexathara's flagship shuddered under the impact of redirected plasma blasts, while his crew struggled to understand how their overwhelming technological advantage had suddenly become a devastating liability. Dr. Alan Hayes monitored the battle from Earth while running calculations that produced results his scientific training said were impossible. The mysterious human ship was somehow manipulating the fundamental forces that governed energy transfer and conservation. The vessel's technology operated beyond conventional physics, suggesting that humanity had achieved breakthroughs that revolutionized their understanding of reality itself. Captain Wright's voice echoed across all communication frequencies as he explained the situation to both the alien fleet and Earth Command. His ship represented technology that had been developed in absolute secrecy, while humanity prepared for exactly this type of encounter. The aliens had made one critical error by assuming that Earth's visible military capabilities represented their complete technological achievement. The Retribution continued its devastating attack on the Council fleet, while alien commanders frantically tried to develop new tactics against an enemy that turned their own weapons into instruments of their destruction. Ships that had conquered dozens of civilizations found themselves helpless against technology that operated according to principles they could not comprehend or counter. The UHSF Retribution moved through the alien formation with predatory efficiency, while Council ships found their most advanced weapons turned against them with devastating effect. Captain Danny Wright's vessel absorbed every energy blast and redirected the power back at its source with amplified force that overwhelmed alien defensive systems. The mathematics of the engagement had shifted from impossible human odds to complete alien helplessness in a matter of minutes. Admiral Zexathara watched his fleet being systematically destroyed by a single human vessel using technology that operated beyond galactic understanding. Ships that had conquered entire star systems found themselves crippled by their own weapons, while their crews struggled to comprehend how such a reversal was even possible. The Admiral's 47 previous conquest operations had never included anything remotely similar to this nightmare scenario. Dr. Patricia Lee transmitted from the Retribution's science bay, explaining the principles behind humanity's hidden technological revolution. Human scientists had discovered methods for manipulating entropy itself rather than simply projecting energy through conventional means. Their weapons could reverse the fundamental forces that governed energy transfer, making alien attacks into sources of power for human defensive systems. Commander Veltar drifted helplessly in his damaged ship while watching the systematic destruction of Council forces by technology that seemed to violate the basic laws of physics. The humans had somehow learned to control forces that galactic civilization considered immutable constants. Every weapon the aliens fired only strengthened their enemy while weakening themselves in an impossible feedback loop. The Retribution demonstrated capabilities that exceeded anything in the Council's vast database of galactic civilizations. The human ship moved through space using propulsion systems that created gravitational distortions, while weapons that could manipulate fundamental forces targeted alien vessels with surgical precision. Each attack disabled rather than destroyed enemy ships, leaving crews alive to witness their complete technological obsolescence. Jake Morrison received priority communications from Earth Command as hidden human facilities throughout the solar system began revealing assets that officially did not exist in any government records. Admiral Kate Sullivan's Project Blackout had been preparing for galactic contact for decades while developing technology that placed humanity centuries ahead of their apparent development level. The truth emerged as more human vessels appeared, from concealment throughout the solar system. Earth's visible space program had been an elaborate deception designed to hide humanity's real technological capabilities from potential threats. While aliens observed primitive rockets and nuclear weapons, the real human fleet had been exploring distant star systems using faster-than-light drives that operated on completely different principles. Dr. Alan Hayes broadcast the complete explanation to both human and alien audiences while the battle continued around Earth orbit. Humanity had achieved interstellar travel more than 50 years earlier, and had been quietly mapping galactic civilization while remaining carefully hidden from Council detection. They knew about alien conquest patterns and had specifically prepared countermeasures against Council military technology. Admiral Zexathara attempted to contact Council homeworlds for reinforcements, but discovered that human technology was jamming quantum communication networks across multiple dimensional frequencies. The aliens found themselves completely cut off from their vast interstellar empire, while facing weapons that turned their greatest strengths into crippling weaknesses. The Retribution's captain explained that humanity had been observing Council operations throughout this sector of the galaxy, while studying alien technology and developing specific countermeasures against each type of weapon system. Human scientists had spent decades learning to reverse engineer captured alien equipment while advancing their own capabilities beyond anything the Council could imagine. Lisa Rodriguez monitored alien communications as panic spread through the Council fleet while commanders realized that their technological superiority had become a deadly liability. Every ship in the formation was either destroyed or crippled by weapons that operated according to principles their science could not explain. The humans had achieved breakthroughs that revolutionized the fundamental understanding of physical laws. President Carter addressed both Earth and the galaxy from the White House, while human ships demonstrated capabilities that placed them among the most advanced civilizations in known space. Humanity announced its independence from Council authority, while making it clear that future diplomatic contact would be conducted between equals rather than conquerors and victims. Captain Wright continued his methodical destruction of the alien fleet while explaining that humanity had learned valuable lessons from observing Council conquest operations throughout the galaxy. Earth's apparent primitiveness had been a carefully maintained illusion designed to avoid premature contact with aggressive civilizations until human military technology could guarantee successful resistance. The remaining Council ships found themselves surrounded by additional human vessels that emerged from stealth systems scattered throughout Earth's solar system. Admiral Sullivan's hidden fleet represented decades of secret development using breakthrough physics that enabled humanity to manipulate space-time itself. The aliens discovered that they had stumbled into a trap rather than conquering a helpless, primitive world. Dr. Patricia Lee revealed that human technology could manipulate the quantum vacuum itself while channeling zero-point energy through dimensional interfaces that provided virtually unlimited power. The weapons that so easily defeated Council forces represented just the beginning of humanity's technological capabilities. Earth had become a civilization capable of reshaping reality according to their requirements. Commander Veltar transmitted his surrender while requesting mercy from the humans who had so completely outclassed Council military might. The Kethran officer admitted that his civilization had never encountered technology that could turn their weapons into instruments of their own destruction. The tactical situation had become hopeless for alien forces who faced enemies capable of controlling fundamental physical laws. The alien fleet hung dead in space around Earth orbit, while surviving Council commanders tried to process the complete reversal of their tactical situation. Admiral Zexathara found himself commanding a collection of crippled vessels facing human technology that operated beyond galactic understanding. The Admiral's vast experience with primitive civilizations had not prepared him for enemies who could manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself. Captain Danny Wright broadcast to both the defeated aliens and Earth Command while explaining the true scope of humanity's hidden technological development. Project Blackout had been monitoring galactic civilization for decades while developing countermeasures against every known form of Council military technology. The humans had specifically prepared for this exact scenario while maintaining their deception of primitive development. Dr. Patricia Lee continued her scientific explanation of human breakthrough physics, while alien scientists listened with growing horror to descriptions of technology that violated everything they understood about universal laws. The humans had learned to reverse entropy while channeling energy from alternate dimensional sources that provided virtually unlimited power for their weapons and defensive systems. The UHSF Retribution demonstrated additional capabilities as the ship began repairing damage to disabled alien vessels using technology that could restructure matter at the molecular level. Human engineering systems rebuilt Council ship components, while upgrading their systems to prevent future aggressive actions. The aliens watched helplessly as their weapons were permanently disabled while their life support systems were enhanced beyond original specifications. Commander Veltar received medical assistance from human rescue teams who transported injured Council personnel to treatment facilities aboard the Retribution. The alien commander discovered that human medical technology could heal injuries that would have been fatal using galactic standard equipment. Regeneration chambers restored damaged tissue, while neural interface systems repaired brain trauma with precision that exceeded anything in Council databases. Admiral Kate Sullivan emerged from her hidden command center to coordinate humanity's first official contact with galactic civilization while making it clear that Earth would not tolerate future aggression against human interests. Her project, Blackout assets, included weapons platforms capable of sterilizing entire star systems, while defensive installations could protect Earth from attacks by galactic-scale military forces. Jake Morrison received new orders directing the Liberty to escort disabled alien vessels out of Earth's solar system, while ensuring that Council forces understood the consequences of future hostile actions. The captain's ship had been upgraded, with technology that placed it decades ahead of visible human capabilities. Earth's apparent military weakness had been a carefully maintained illusion designed to deceive potential enemies. The truth about human expansion throughout the galaxy began emerging as hidden colonies reported their positions to Earth Command for the first time in decades. Humanity had established settlements in dozens of star systems while maintaining complete secrecy about their interstellar presence. The Council had been conquering primitive worlds, while humans quietly explored the galaxy using faster-than-light technology that operated without detectable signatures. Dr. Alan Hayes revealed that human scientists had been studying captured alien technology for more than 30 years, while developing countermeasures against every known form of Council weaponry. The breakthrough came when human researchers learned to manipulate quantum vacuum fluctuations while channeling zero-point energy through dimensional interfaces that provided access to unlimited power sources. Admiral Zexathara attempted to salvage some dignity from the disaster by offering to negotiate a treaty between the Council and humanity as equals rather than conquerors and victims. The alien leader finally understood that his vast empire had encountered a civilization whose technology exceeded galactic standards by centuries rather than being behind by the same margin. President Carter addressed the galaxy through communication networks that human technology had quietly infiltrated decades earlier, while Council forces remained unaware of the monitoring. Earth announced its claim to independence while offering to establish diplomatic relations with any civilization willing to respect human sovereignty. The age of human expansion had officially begun. Lisa Rodriguez coordinated with alien communication officers to establish translation protocols for future diplomatic contact while making it clear that humanity possessed complete intelligence. about Council operations throughout this sector of the galaxy. The humans had been watching and learning while preparing for eventual contact with galactic civilization. Captain Wright explained that human military doctrine emphasized defensive capabilities rather than aggressive expansion because Earth's scientists understood that true security came from technological superiority rather than territorial conquest. The weapons that had so easily defeated Council forces were designed specifically to neutralize aggressive civilizations while protecting human interests. The remaining functional alien ships found themselves unable to access their own navigation. Systems as human technology took control of Council vessels to ensure compliance with Earth's demands for peaceful withdrawal. The aliens discovered that their most advanced computer systems were vulnerable to human cyber warfare capabilities that operated through quantum interference patterns. Dr. Patricia Lee demonstrated additional human capabilities by showing how their technology could manipulate gravitational fields while creating stable wormholes for faster-than-light travel. The physics involved required understanding of dimensional relationships that galactic civilization had never achieved despite centuries of technological development. Commander Veltar admitted that Council intelligence had completely failed to detect human capabilities while underestimating Earth's technological development by several centuries. The Kethran Alliance would need to completely revise their understanding of galactic power relationships now that humanity had revealed technology that exceeded anything in known space. The galaxy received humanity's first official message through communication networks that human technology had been monitoring for decades without Council detection. President Carter's broadcast reached every civilized world simultaneously, while demonstrating capabilities that exceeded anything galactic civilization had achieved in centuries of technological development. Earth announced its emergence as an independent power, while offering diplomatic relations based on mutual respect rather than conquest. Admiral Zex Thera composed his report to Council homeworlds while struggling to explain how a routine conquest operation had become a complete disaster that revealed humanity as the most technologically advanced civilization in known space. The Admiral's career had included dozens of successful integrations, but nothing in his experience had prepared him for enemies who could turn superior technology into a crippling weakness. Captain Danny Wright supervised the escort of disabled alien vessels out of Earth's solar system, while human engineering teams continued repairing Council ships using technology that operated beyond galactic understanding. The aliens watched with fascination and horror as their weapons were permanently disabled, while their defensive and life support systems were upgraded beyond original specifications using principles their science could not comprehend. Dr. Patricia Lee broadcast detailed explanations of human technological breakthroughs to scientific communities throughout the galaxy while carefully avoiding information that could be used for military purposes. Her descriptions of entropy manipulation and dimensional energy channeling revolutionized galactic understanding of physics while establishing humanity as the foremost civilization in theoretical and applied sciences. The Council fleet limped away from Earth orbit, carrying news that would reshape galactic politics as word spread about humanity's technological supremacy. Admiral Sullivan's hidden assets emerged from concealment throughout human space, revealing colonies and installations that had been operating in secret for decades, while monitoring galactic civilization and preparing countermeasures against potential threats. Commander Veltar used his damaged ship's communication systems to warn other Council forces about human capabilities while recommending immediate cessation of all aggressive actions against Earth interests. The Kethran officer's report described weapons that violated fundamental physical laws while demonstrating defensive capabilities that made conventional military action completely futile. Jake Morrison received orders to establish permanent patrol routes throughout human space, using upgraded systems that placed the Liberty decades ahead of its previous capabilities. Earth's visible military had been transformed overnight as hidden. Technology emerged from classified programs that had been preparing for galactic contact since the early 21st century. The true scope of human expansion became clear as colonies throughout the galaxy reported their positions for the first time, while revealing populations that had been secretly established using faster-than-light travel technology. Humanity controlled territory spanning dozens of star systems while maintaining complete concealment from Council detection through advanced stealth systems that operated on quantum interference principles. Dr. Alan Hayes coordinated with alien scientists who requested permission to study human technology while offering complete access to Council databases in exchange for basic information about entropy manipulation principles. The galactic scientific community recognized that humanity had achieved breakthroughs that would require centuries for other civilizations to understand and replicate. President Carter established the Department of Galactic Affairs while appointing Admiral Sullivan as humanity's first ambassador to interstellar civilization. Earth's new diplomatic mission emphasized peaceful coexistence while making it clear that human military capabilities could protect their interests against any conceivable threat from aggressive civilizations. Lisa Rodriguez took charge of establishing communication protocols with dozens of alien civilizations that had heard about humanity's emergence and wanted to establish diplomatic relations with the galaxy's newest superpower. The demand for contact with Earth exceeded human diplomatic capacity as news of their technological superiority spread throughout civilized space. The Retribution demonstrated additional capabilities by creating stable wormholes that allowed instantaneous travel between distant star systems, while showing how human technology could reshape space-time according to their requirements. The physics involved required manipulation of fundamental forces that galactic civilization considered immutable constants of reality. Admiral Zexathara arrived at Council homeworlds carrying complete sensor records of human technology while recommending immediate policy changes regarding Earth and all human territories. The Vorthon Empire's analysis confirmed that humanity possessed capabilities that exceeded Council military technology by centuries rather than being primitive as originally assumed. Captain Wright established humanity's first official embassy in Council space, while demonstrating human willingness to participate in galactic civilization as equals rather than conquerors. The embassy's defensive systems included weapons capable of sterilizing entire star systems while making it clear that human diplomacy was backed by overwhelming technological superiority. Dr. Patricia Lee revealed that human technology could manipulate the quantum vacuum itself while accessing virtually unlimited energy through dimensional interfaces that connected to alternate realities. The weapons that had so easily defeated Council forces represented just the beginning of humanity's capabilities in manipulating fundamental physical laws. The galaxy began adapting to new political realities as humanity emerged as the dominant technological power while offering peaceful coexistence to civilizations willing to respect human sovereignty. Earth's hidden development had produced breakthrough science that revolutionized understanding of physics while establishing humanity as the most advanced civilization in known space. The galaxy transformed as news of humanity's technological supremacy spread throughout civilized space, while the Council's authority crumbled in the face of their humiliating defeat at Earth. Dozens of previously conquered civilizations declared independence from Council rule, while requesting human protection against retribution from their former masters. The established order that had dominated galactic politics for millennia collapsed within months of humanity's emergence. Admiral Zexathara found himself stripped of command and facing charges of criminal incompetence for leading the most catastrophic military defeat in Council history. The Vorthon Empire's investigation revealed that human technology exceeded their capabilities by centuries, while their intelligence services had completely failed to detect Earth's true development level. The Admiral's career ended in disgrace as Council leadership struggled to comprehend the magnitude of their miscalculation. Captain Danny Wright established the first human embassy in the galactic core, while demonstrating diplomatic protocols that emphasized cooperation rather than domination. The embassy's defensive systems included weapons capable of destroying entire fleets, while making it clear that human diplomacy operated from a position of overwhelming strength. Alien diplomats learned to approach Earth representatives with respect rather than the condescension that had characterized previous Council interactions. Dr. Patricia Lee founded the Galactic Institute of Advanced Physics on a neutral world where human scientists shared carefully selected technological principles, with alien researchers while maintaining security over their most sensitive discoveries. The Institute revolutionized galactic understanding of fundamental forces while establishing humanity as the premier scientific civilization in known space. The Council's military technology became obsolete overnight, as human weapons demonstrated, capabilities that turned conventional warfare into an exercise in futility. Admiral Sullivan's hidden fleet emerged from concealment throughout human space, revealing installations that could project power across galactic distances using principles that violated everything alien science considered possible. Commander Veltar received permission to visit Earth as part of a Kethran diplomatic mission while studying human culture and technology, with the desperate hope of understanding how such a young civilization had achieved such overwhelming superiority. The alien officer's reports described a society that had deliberately hidden its advancement while preparing for eventual contact with potentially hostile galactic neighbors. Jake Morrison commanded the first human exploration fleet to venture beyond previously mapped galactic regions while searching for new civilizations that might benefit from human protection against Council aggression. His upgraded vessel represented technology that could establish instantaneous communication across unlimited distances while defending against any conceivable military threat. The true scope of human achievement became clear as secret installations throughout the galaxy revealed research projects that had been developing breakthrough physics for decades while maintaining complete concealment from Council intelligence. Humanity had achieved faster-than-light travel that operated without detectable signatures, while developing weapons that could manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself. Dr. Alan Hayes coordinated with alien scientists who recognized that human technology represented a quantum leap beyond anything galactic civilization had achieved in centuries of development. The physics principles involved required understanding of dimensional relationships that challenged basic assumptions about the nature of reality, while opening possibilities for advancement that previous science had considered impossible. President Carter addressed the galaxy through communication networks that human technology had quietly infiltrated, while Council forces remained unaware of the monitoring capabilities. Earth offered membership in a new interstellar alliance based on voluntary cooperation, rather than forced submission, while guaranteeing protection for any civilization willing to respect human sovereignty and territorial integrity. Lisa Rodriguez established diplomatic relations with hundreds of alien civilizations that had heard about humanity's emergence and wanted to escape Council domination while gaining access to advanced human technology. The demand for Earth's protection exceeded human capacity as news of their capabilities spread throughout civilized space. The Retribution became the flagship of humanity's new galactic fleet while demonstrating capabilities that included matter, reconstruction at the molecular level, and instantaneous travel between distant star systems. Captain Wright's vessel served as a mobile embassy, while showing alien civilizations that human power was backed by technology that exceeded their most optimistic projections. Admiral Sullivan revealed that Project Blackout had been monitoring galactic civilization for more than 50 years while developing specific countermeasures against every known form of alien military technology. The project's success exceeded all expectations as humanity emerged as the dominant power in local galactic politics without firing a shot in anger until the Council forced their hand. The galaxy entered a new age as humanity's technological revolution spread throughout civilized space while former Council territories declared independence under human protection. Earth's emergence had shattered the established order while demonstrating that careful preparation and advanced technology could overcome any conventional military advantage. Dr. Patricia Lee announced plans for the next phase of human expansion. As scientists prepared to share selected technological principles with allied civilizations while maintaining security over discoveries that could be misused by aggressive powers. The galaxy would never be the same as humanity took its place as the leading civilization in known space, while offering hope for a future based on cooperation rather than conquest. The Council's age of domination had ended forever as humanity's. Superior technology established a new galactic order where voluntary cooperation replaced forced submission, and diplomatic equality replaced the threat of planetary bombardment. Earth had won not just a military victory, but a complete transformation of galactic civilization itself.